The channel that we see right here made $4,000 in the last 30 days. And in this video, I'll show you guys exactly how you can do that too. Now, this is a faceless YouTube channel, so I don't have to show my face on this channel. I don't edit the videos. I don't do anything of that. I'll show you guys exactly how you guys can do that too. Now, before that, since so many of you guys always want me to refresh the page, let me refresh the page for you guys. So let's go back. Boom. The page has been refreshed and you guys can see it's still $3,900. Then we can also go to settings and I can also change the currency to new Taiwan dollar, just as an example. And here we can now see this would be pretty awesome, like 123,000. That would be awesome. Let me go back to US dollars and yeah, then everyone is happy in the comments. So here we can see $4,000 in the last 30 days. Now, for the people who don't know who I am, I'm Stefan, currently 23 years old, and I currently make between $30,000 and $40,000 a month with my own faceless YouTube channels, constantly starting new channels, as we can see right here. Then I've made $42,000 with 2 videos. So here $30,000 and here $12,000. And then, I've scaled the channel from $0 to $48,000 in just 30 days, as we can see right here. I'll tell you guys in a second how I did this. And, I've helped hundreds of other people do the exact same thing. So what I'm teaching you in this video did not just work for me, works for hundreds of normal everyday people. All right. For example, Martins, who we've scaled to $31,000 in one single month. Then here, $12,000 in one single month, $24,000 in one single month. Here, $4,000 in one single month. First, like $1,000 in the first month. Here, $18,000 in one single month. Now, if you're looking for or looking to get the exact same results, check out the first link in the video description. Book a completely free call with me. I'll be on the call. I'll have a look if it makes sense to work together or not. If it does, we'll work together. And if not, then not. All right. Now, that being said, let's get straight into the video. So there are a few things we need to do. So firstly, we're going to pick the niche. Then we're going to pick the video topics. I'll show you guys exactly how to do each of these. Then we need to create the video with AI and freelancers. We're going to post the video to YouTube and we're going to make money. All right. So let's start out with step number 1, which is choosing the niche. Now, this is something that most people skip, and this is actually the most important thing. So I can clearly see if someone skipped choosing the niche, or not skip, but does not know what they do. All right. So firstly, every niche or the whole YouTube platform has supply and demand. And this is probably the most important part when it comes to YouTube automation, is essentially seeing YouTube as a marketplace. And just like any other marketplace, YouTube has supply and it has demand. And this is what most people don't know. And it took me a very long time to figure this out myself. Okay. Now, what does that actually mean? Very simple. Demand is what the audience actually wants to watch, and supply is how much content is there already. And we need to find a gap between these two. Now, what normal YouTubers do is they take years to build their personal brands, spend years building a connection with their audience, and takes a lot of time and hard work to build demand around them. Now, luckily with YouTube automation, we skip this whole process. Instead, what we do, we look for a topic or niche that already has a lot of demand or interest, but no supply, right? So we're looking for topics that a lot of people are interested in, but nobody's posting about these specific topics, right? Now, if we're doing niche research, there's specific criteria we're always looking at to be able to find supply and demand on YouTube. So firstly, there are under 5 smaller channels creating content in this niche that are constantly getting more views than they have subscribers. This means there's high demand and low supply. There are no channels with over 100,000 subscribers. Super important. Please make sure of this, because you will not be able to compete against a channel that already has 100,000 subscribers. There are no smaller channels failing. Very important. If there are a bunch of channels failing, why should your channel succeed? The niche is not older than 6 months. Okay. Also extremely important. Then I can create better content than my competitors. Just as important, but this can also just be longer content. All right. Longer content. Now, next thing, I'm actually interested in this niche. This is not a must as long as you build a team that actually has interest in that niche. Is the niche monetizable? Super important. Otherwise, you're not going to make any money. Then huge bonus if you can actually go ahead and post long videos inside that niche. Now, this does not need to be 1000% perfect with all niches you find. Sometimes you find the perfect niches, and that's exactly where this here happens, right? I made $48,000 in 30 days because I had a perfect niche. But don't chase a perfect niche. It's sometimes a bit more difficult to find them, all right? So yeah. Now, recommended tools for niche research is NextLev. It's like 13 euros a month. I'll show you guys in a second why this is the best 13 euros a month that you can spend. And vidIQ, the free plan is more than enough. Now, the strategy we're going to use to do niche research is with a dummy account. So this is basically a YouTube account that we only use for doing niche research. So the YouTube homepage has actually updated or changed it to our advantage. YouTube now got extremely good at predicting what we want to watch. And we can now use this to our advantage to train the YouTube algorithm to show us faceless niches on our YouTube home tab. Instead of me explaining all of this, let me show you exactly how you can do this. And once the dummy account is set up, you can find, no joke, endless niches with it. So this here is my dummy account. We can see faceless, 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 faceless. Like everything on my YouTube, on my niche research account, all just faceless channels, all right? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to create a new YouTube account just like this one. And I'm just gonna show you guys how I do it with an incognito window. But important is that you actually go ahead and create an account. So you can look up anything that you are interested in. For example, biggest houses. This can be, no joke, can be anything, all right? But what is important is that you click on a faceless video, that you only click on faceless videos, all right? So what you do is you subscribe to this channel, you like this video, and you go on to the next one, all right? Again, important is that you just click on faceless videos the whole time. So like here, while this video is playing, again, subscribe, like, and scroll down, look for more faceless videos. You want to continue this for a while, I'd say like 30 minutes or something, then YouTube is going to know exactly what you want to watch. Then you go back to YouTube homepage, all right? And on your YouTube homepage, you will then see a bunch of faceless channels, all right? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to click on more faceless channels on your YouTube homepage, specifically the ones you are actually interested in, because then YouTube is going to get even better with recommending you channels that you're actually interested in. I would highly recommend you guys to get NextLev, because with NextLev, you can see the subscriber counts of these channels. And what makes this so strong is because you want to click on channels that are small, but get a lot of views. YouTube is going to show you more and more and more small channels the more you do this. All right. Now, let me show you what NextLev can also do. So you can scroll down on your YouTube homepage, then you click on filters, then subscriber count. Now you can filter, that you only see channels with less than 16,000 subscribers, channels that get a lot of views. Like, for example, this one, Lost American Homestead. Channel is absolutely crushing it, or not really crushing it anymore. But here's the next thing. That's why I want to get vidIQ, because you want to look at like, hey, how many views did this channel get in the last 7 days? So here we can see only 25,000 views. Now, the next thing you can do is you can click here on analytics like that. Then you click on RPM. Then it's actually going to show you, okay, damn, this niche only has like a $3 or $2.50 RPM. So might not be worth it to, go into this exact niche. All right. So now you guys know how to do niche research. Next thing, if you want to create new niches, this is absolutely crazy, because creating niches using the niche transfer method is, one of the most powerful things you can do. So instead of blindly copying something everyone is doing, we use the niche transfer method to literally 1000x our results. This is essentially taking proven concepts and moving them to different markets on YouTube. This can be anything: the title, the thumbnail style, the video style, anything that's working. All right. Now here's an example. So here, the Medieval Times Discovered. This is a channel that, is posting videos on medieval people, how they lived, how they do things, which is working very, very well. And there are obviously a bunch of other groups of people as well. And what they did is, or what, here this channel, just as an example, did, they took this exact style of content and just implemented it for cavemen. This channel here did it for pirates. This channel here did it for homeless people. And all of these channels have one thing in common. They all blew up, right? Because they all combined something new with something that is already working, which is the most powerful thing you can do when it comes to YouTube. All right. Then next up, once we have our niche, we need to select video topics. Now, supply and demand is not just important in your niche, but also in the video topics you choose. This is something that a lot of people forget, and that's why some people pick good niches but still don't succeed because they pick super bad video topics. All right. Now, how do you actually go ahead and find demand in video topics? So firstly, you want to look for recent outlier videos on competitor channels. You want to look for recent trending formats all over YouTube. And then very important is that you do not go ahead and copy the most popular videos from competitors. This is what everyone does and you will fail. So if you go now to this channel and you just go ahead and you just very quickly choose video topics and you copy this one-on-one, won't work because of supply and demand. Everyone does that. All right. Now, how do you find supply? You use your YouTube search bar and look for how many people have created the exact same video. If it's been done more than 3 times and you don't have a different angle to that specific video, I would highly recommend you to look for a different topic. YouTube will always show the videos to the hardcore fans of that niche first, and if they have already seen the video multiple times, they don't have a single reason for clicking on your video, except if it follows a different angle. All right. Now, how does a perfect video topic actually look like? The topic resonates with your audience. So ask yourself, do they even want to watch this specific video? Some topics sound super interesting but are very boring, so make sure your topics aren't boring. Your topic has to be posted on time, especially if it's a trend. You have to repeat what has done well in the past. All right, I'll tell you guys more about this later. And I need you to leverage negativity. Negativity is one of the big things that if you look at the news, just as an example, always negative headlines. Why? Because humans react better to negative things. All right. Now, when we're choosing topics, we can also use something called the topic transfer method. This is by far the most powerful way to choose video topics. What you essentially do is you find winning video topics in other niches and move them over to your niche. This can work insanely well if this is done correctly, as we can see here. So this video here was posted first, 2.7 million views, about why you wouldn't last 24 hours in medieval times. Then this channel came and did the exact same video just for Stone Age, right? And it blew up on this channel. This was actually the video that completely blew up this exact channel right here. Now, same thing for here, cats and dogs. This video blew up. This guy did the exact same video just for dogs. Worked very, very well. This is exactly what we did with Scott. Went from literally getting 50 to 100 views a video and almost giving up on his channel to a 5K a month, right? Not days, but month, within like a week, right? As we can see here, even with a $450 day. Now, if you want the exact same results, check out the first link in the video description. You know where to book a call and we will see how we can scale it up together. All right. Then I need you to double down on what already works. Once you find something that works and gets views on your channel, why reinvent the wheel? Just go ahead and double down on that topic until it does not work anymore. If you have something that works, do 80% of what works and 20% test new stuff, right? We did this with Andre, where it worked extremely well, where, we went from, literally just being monetized with him to $31,000 in a single month. And he's been doing this like over and over and over and over and over again in just 4 months, simply by doubling down on what is already working. You guys can pause this video and read through all of this. Absolutely crazy. Okay. Then next thing, now we actually go into content creation. Now for content creation, you have 3 different options for approaching it. So you can either do it yourself, you can do the hybrid method, or you can fully outsource it. Now, if you do it yourself, there are advantages and disadvantages. You basically have no costs. You have 100% profit margin. You learn new skills and you have full control over the whole process. The disadvantages are it's not very scalable. It's extremely time consuming. Learning takes a lot of time. And without you, there's no money. Because if you don't create any videos, no videos will be posted. All right. Then we have the hybrid method where the advantages are, and with the hybrid method, you do some of the work and the freelancers do some of the work. All right. So this is super cool. A lot of our students are starting out with this. The advantages are you have low cost. You do what you enjoy. So if you enjoy writing scripts, you write the scripts. All right. You have more control, or you still have a lot of control over how the content is being created. The disadvantages are that it's only partially scalable, very time consuming. Some capital is required to pay the freelancers, and without you, there's no income. Okay, because you're still doing some of the video creation part. Okay, then a lot of our students, as I said, start with this and then move over to fully outsourcing. The advantages with that is, if you fully outsource, is that it's not very time consuming. It's extremely scalable, still over 80% profit margin. You have time freedom because you work with experienced freelancers, and without you, you still have income because the freelancers just continue to post videos, right? The disadvantages are that it does require some initial capital. I would say between $300 to $500 a month, then you're good to go with fully outsourcing. Now, where do you actually go ahead and hire a thumbnail designer? Either on X, you will find really good ones, on Fiverr, Upwork, YT Jobs, or onlinejobs.ph, and scriptwriter, Upwork, YT Jobs, onlinejobs.ph, or you can just use AI. I would use AI for writing the scripts. It's the easiest, it's super fast. And yeah, then voiceovers here, Fiverr or 11 Labs. 11 Labs is an AI voiceover generator. You can also use Gen AI Pro, but yeah, then video editor, Upwork, X. Like here on X, you will find the best ones. On Upwork, you will find decent ones at a very decent price. All right, YT Jobs, onlinejobs.ph. Okay, then for channel managers, you can ask your friends or your family, do they maybe want to manage your channel? Important is you do not need a channel manager if you're just running one channel or two channels. All right, you can easily run that yourself. You can hire them on Upwork from your existing freelancers. That's what you also can do. I always like to, hire from my freelancers and take the one that's the most accountable. Or you can hire them from YT Jobs as well, or onlinejobs.ph. All right, then we need to go to the next part, which is going to be posting videos. Now, I follow this exact strategy with every single niche I go into to avoid spending money on videos that will never work. Okay, I want you to adopt this exact same thing because too many people are too attached to their channels. All right, so you end up wasting thousands of dollars on channels that are never working. First thing, you go ahead and you do niche research. Then you choose your account. All right, so a new account, personal account, aged account, or pre-monetized account. New account is just a new account. Personal account is just and YouTube account that you use on a daily basis to watch YouTube. Aged account is just a very old account. Pre-monetized is an account that is already monetized, which I would not recommend since we want to build like long-term channels. All right. Then we need 15 video topics, 10 to 15 video topics. Now go back and make sure that you choose good video topics, because if you're going to randomly choose video topics, it's probably not going to work. You want to choose good video topics, okay? Now, once you have your good video topics, you're going to write the script with any kind of AI. Voiceover, you can do it with AI as well, all right? Then the video editor, or for editing, you're actually going to use a freelancer. I always like to, use real people to create the videos. Videos are just better, okay? Now, that's going to cost you anywhere from $15 to $30, okay? Then for the thumbnail, use a freelancer. If you can create thumbnails, then do it yourself, okay? Thumbnails actually need to be good. Like if this is your niche, your thumbnails actually need to look like that, all right? Okay, let me go back here. Then for video length, make sure your video is 1.5 times longer than your competitor video. Simple reason for that, YouTube is always going to push the video that keeps the viewer on the platform for the longest period of time, okay? For the thumbnail and the title, again, make sure you're using something that has already worked in the past. Do not reinvent the wheel. Always use something that has worked in the past, okay? Don't reinvent the wheel. Then, once we have that ready, we go into the posting phase. So we post, skip, post, skip, post, post, skip, post. Why do we post like this? Because we want to show YouTube that we are humans behind the account and not some kind of AI bot behind the account, all right? Now, one of two things is going to happen. Either the channel is actually going to pick up and start to get views. That's the time where we are actually going to continue to post, okay? If this does not happen and it completely flatlines and you're not getting any views, right? After the first 15 videos, we're not going to post more than 15 videos. Then we need to go back and try to understand, why did this channel fail? So the reasons why a channel might fail is either because of the niche, the video topics, the packaging, the video length, or maybe it's just a bad channel, right? And in case of the channel failing, we want to go back and we want to restart this whole process. And we want to restart it as long as it takes until we have something that wins. All right. Now, if you have something that wins, then we're going to go to the next step, which is actually making money. Now, the YouTube partnership program is the easiest way to monetize your YouTube channel, where YouTube pays you directly for the views you get. Okay. Now, for that, you need 1,000 subscribers and you need 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, I know that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time sounds a lot, but the people we work with actually get to this point within 3 to 6 weeks on average. And I just had someone doing it again yesterday, as we can see right here, which is super, super awesome, right? Now, how much money can you actually earn from YouTube? So CPM is cost per 1,000 views. How much advertisers pay for every 1,000 views or impressions on their ad. And then RPM is how much you actually earn for every 1,000 views. Okay. Now, with a $5 RPM, if you want to make $10,000 a month, all you need is 2 million views, because with a $5 RPM, you will get $5,000 for every 2 million views, for every 1 million views, right? So this is super awesome. Now, there are specific ways to increase your RPM. So firstly, you can turn on alcohol and gambling ads, create longer videos videos longer than 15 minutes, and then place ads every 10 seconds using NextLev, which is the most underrated thing. And that's why I say NextLev is a game changer. And this will increase your RPM by like 30%, something like that. So that's pretty much a lot. Okay. Now, I hope you understand everything. Get to work. If you don't want to do this alone and you want my help, then check out the first link in the video description. Book a call with me. Let's see if we can scale you up to $8,000, $18,000, $5,000. Check it out. Book your call. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.